Lesson 2, fundamental of the maintenance operation. The workload organization. The unit of the make of the workload can be organized with the broad categories of management and control of the shown in Figure 1 during the maintenance operation with the right personnel with the tools, equipment, obligation, records, reports, supply of the parts of the time must be brought together to do the job of the operation. Fail within an area of the operator crew, preventive maintenance check services at the unit level to prepare, provision, and repair parts request for the higher level support, schedule, serve with the dispatch for the equipment, procedures to guide with the operation should be provided with the unit standard optimization procedure, learning event, provide with the type of the workload organization which may be adapted to suit the individual unit requirements. Maintenance cycle. The most maintenance requirements are part of the maintenance cycle shown in the Figure 1, page 30 of the requirement of the usually identified while the equipment and use of the equipment is taken out with the required for the maintenance operation and performed. The equipment is put back into use. Operators crew and the preventive maintenance on the daily preventive maintenance services foundation of the unit maintenance program. Some of the type of the maintenance requirements identify the other means such as the malfunction and oil analysis command checks. However, the daily preventive maintenance checks are to ensure the readiness of all applicable equipment checked on the required basis with the record made by the fault with which cannot be corrected on the spot. Maintenance records keep the beginning with the Department of the DA Form 2404 equipment inspection maintenance worksheet with the Figure 2 on the page 31 show the workflow of the preventive maintenance check services. Operator crew with the preventive maintenance check services inspection still listed and applicable with the operator's manual on the spot, but the corrections are made whenever possible. For falls beyond with the operator's crew with the capability through the required for the parts most required for the DA Form 2404, the ensure the repairs made with the parts made with the recorded, no faults are noted with the date with the recorded on the DA Form 2404 daily, and the equipment made available to the use of the fault beyond the ability of the operator crew to repair the final of the report to the supervisor, the equipment dispatcher for the corrective action by units and maintenance. Personnel of the maintenance cycle, your operator crew daily preventive maintenance check services. Unit maintenance repair, the unit level of repair for the identification unit with the maintenance requirement, the workflow with the unit repair shown in Figure 3 with the record sleeve, clerk receive with the DA Form 2404, the equipment operator crew with the equipment involved with the operation DA Form 2404 is given the maintenance supervisor the equipment with the non-operational department, the defense Form 314, the preventive maintenance check schedule and record marked with the red tab, the corner of the DA PAM 7380750. Performing the forward record maintenance supervision. The main supervisor will receive the document assigned with the mechanic to do the work. The mechanic verify that the report follows the maintenance for the allocation chart shown that the fault can be corrected with the action. Corrected with the unit mechanic will complete the repair work. The work is beyond the unit level. The maintenance requested and initiated when the repair is finished with the DA Form 2404. 2404 posted the document forwarded the maintenance supervision with the verified with the repairs complete with the return document with the dispatcher. The dispatcher makes the item available to use for the post of the equipment record for the current staff. The pertinent documents can be noted if applicable. The unit maintenance prepare a workflow. Repair parts proceed with the general workflow with the repair parts requested the outline in Figure 4 local procedure with the mind made out for the workflow with the brand of the parts needed correct with the unit follow with the may also post the DA Form 2404 daily with the PLL clerk of the parts of the part list not available to the national stock number and the verified with the T20P technical manual Army Master data file AMDF placed on order on deadline equipment and document number of the out-ordered parts of the or posted on the DA Form 240814 uncorrected fault record. Equipment records the clerk device of the Form 2404 daily with the equipment remains operational may be due to the parts that are received. If the equipment is unoperative, the DA Form 2404 daily is retained until the parts are received. Figure 4 shows the repair parts request form, work form. When the parts are received, the mechanic can install the DA Form 2404 or 240814 with the faults were corrected with the equipment records, clear post with the nomination capable supply the nomination capable maintenance with the data with the DA Form 314 with the relief of the equipment, maintenance request for the workflow with the maintenance request for the outline and Form DA Form 2407, the maintenance request to you with the unit level of maintenance, requesting maintenance for the support, active with the reporting the warranty claims requesting application for the modification work orders by support, reporting modification work orders done at unit level. Figure 5 shows the DA Form 2407, the maintenance workflow request. The unit mechanic verifies the equipment of the higher level of faults and ensure the unit involved in the faults have been corrected with the DA Form 2407, then initiate the record with the DA Form 2405 with the maintenance request register. The equipment is taken with the support of the maintenance unit with the inspection section. Will conform with the director's support with the work is required that all the maintenance have been performed. Supporting maintenance will notify the support with the unit with the equipment is repaired with the after the equipment is returned with the DA Form 2405 as opposed to the show of the maintenance request for the unit and support maintenance for the non-commissioned capable non-commissioned time of the post of the DA Form 314 with the equipment is made available for use. Schedule maintenance for each equipment technical manual with lubrication order show the maintenance of lubrication services must be performed with the prescribed interval. The DA Form 314 with the scheduled maintenance services also show the when services are actually performed. Usually the form of the DA Form 738, DA PAM 738 750. Dispatch proceeds the dispatcher either the DA Form 2401 organization control record of the equipment that identify the use of location equipment with the dispatcher the use to tell the commander when the use of the equipment when located expected at the time of the return. Figure 6 of the show of the sequence of the action equipment dispatch. Additional controls may be set locally when the unit by the unit commander. Figure 6 show the equipment dispatch workflow. The equipment of the operator performed the preventive maintenance trick of the false or found the action. Take with the show figure 6 of the false found with the dispatch for the DOD Form 1970 with the motor equipment utilization record. Issue the equipment of the DA Form 2404 with the equipment record. The equipment operators complete the applicable to the portion of the DOD Form 1970 as usually equipment of the false found during the operation. Note the DA Form 2404 and at the end of the mission, operative perform the after operation preventive maintenance check service complete with the DA Form 1970. The DA Form 2404 returns them to the dispatcher when the fault has been noted with the dispatcher copy at the time of the return. Other protecting DOD Form 1970. The DA Form 2401 after the information is transcribed. The DA Form Department of Defense Form 1970 destroyed unless for the retention of the administrative purposes of the directed local commander. Maintenance planning. The maintenance planning deals with the need to be done with how to do it with the maintenance supervisor, the guide with the training, with the operational plan with the commander, use of the past experience with the estimate, with the forecast, with the maintenance requirement, the support with the common management, with the operational plan, with the units, the long range, the training plan, outlays, the major activity unit over the extended period, represent with the event, with the support with the operational, with the maintenance supervisor, the forecast with the unit, the maintenance resource, with the equipment, the estimate with the operational P for the equipment that required to support the schedule, the name of the items, the schedule, the unscheduled maintenance, with the maintenance personnel available, the include the figure 7 through 10, with the pages 38 through 39 show with the low range for the training plan with behind the requirements forecast, personal availability with the forecasting, enable the supervisor to compare the resources with the requirements, supervise and analyze the unit activities, identify the demand maintenance resources will be heavy, moderate, light. Since the training the schedule is subject to change, but the maintenance supervisor may have to change the support plan accordingly. Figure 7 shows the forecast is unscheduled maintenance requirements, number of the vehicles through the year. Forecast scheduled maintenance requirement, number of the vehicles through the year. Figure 9 shows the long-range planning calendar. Forecast operational equipment requirements of the number of the vehicles per year per month. The following observation made with the simple training plan with a heavy demand for the occur with the equipment for during the November, February, April, July, and August. Main supervisor managed to ensure the unit with the equipment with good condition, personal need with the maintenance times must be ensured with the moderate demands. The equipment will be made with during October to May and June. Light demands for the equipment will be made in December, January, March, and September. The supervisor can recover the heavy demands during this time. Equipment operation requirements for the unit will make all of the vehicles major training of the area with the unit training with requires 75% of the unit vehicles scheduled for services that must be performed according to the technical manual. The supervisor may need to use 10% of the variances planned service around the periods of the anticipated heavy use of the unscheduled maintenance. Unscheduled maintenance requirement. The service increase the usage of old vehicle with required with the unscheduled maintenance. The unscheduled maintenance that will take place during periods of heavy use. Personal requirements. Personal availability. Effective of the department's arrival leaves and details of other administrative losses available to personnel compared again for the anticipated requirements. Supervisor on the job. The cross training can be programmed against the anticipated shortages. Maintenance controls at a unit level consists of supervisor a tool for the provide visibility with the situations if the maintenance operation. Some of the tool for the TAMS forms the records with prescribed the regulations. Some of the developed and maintaining with an informal basis. Equipment status check with the equipment status chart with the list of again for the wheel of the track vehicle for the selected major item to identify the assigned operative to show the equipment staff with remarkable columns explain the false when applicable to supply the maintenance information. The status chart usually maintained with the motor sergeant and designated representative to the workload control board. Workload control board figure 11 to provide the repair service staff with the item of the repair shop at the board may be the usually daily review the planning meetings, assigning work briefing the commander, verifying the accuracy of the applicable the TAMS document. The figure 11 shows the workload control board. Or your work assignment shown at the close of the duty day, at the close of the duty of the day, the unit motor of the desk sergeant should review the work accomplished or organized for the following day with the using work assignment sheet shown in figure 12 of the previous sheet, showing with the work in progress. The mechanics are involved with the new sheet with the following day assigned with the new work of the reallocates of the old work. The work assignment sheet provided with the basis for the initial daily work assignment. The review meeting of the master over the duty of the day with the remarks column may be used to record the individual mechanics performance with the need for the additional training. Figure 12 shows the work assignment sheet. Learning event 2, inspections. Inspections are mean with the where which commanded to determine the serviceability of the equipment that promote the efficient maintenance of the operation. All the most desirable inspection may be the one made personally by the commander, but the type of the inspection must often be conducted with the one made with the technician special with the direction with the commander to the commanders appointed representative of the commanders who is not in the scene with the inspection with the master rely on the report of the result of the report must mean with the same thing with the commander of the day of the inspection who prepared it. Commander of the report of the action required with the correction of the report of faulty condition with which caused the unsatisfactory equipment equipment, the maintenance operation, and action with the command with a superior performance is almost important as the inspection itself. Inspection limit with the condition, the equipment requiring the correction, identifying the faults, identify the commander's readiness, and the equipment to perform the mission. The larger sample inspected, the more valid, reliable indication. Some of the equipment inspection, such as the preparation, will perceive the movement of the equipment transfer. The inspection must be total in the nature of the in order to accomplish the objective. The inspection unit, the maintenance program should include the inspection of some quantity of various type of equipment that record the operation and maintenance procedure, maintenance and equipment, the personal strength, the training, organizational productivity, maintenance, supply procedure, the shop operations, adequacy, tool, facility, publication, supplies, repair, and parts, personal capability to determine the faults from a result of the evidence, questions, and answers during the inspection. Inspection overall maintenance management, the degree of the material readiness, include all the areas of the list of the preceding paragraph of the various repair parts of the request for the maintenance request, a follow-up of the supporting maintenance activities, and inspection is for its own sake, maybe the worst for the no with inspection at all. Most inspections somewhat harassing, disrupt normal operation schedule, generally result with extra policy efforts, the way washing paper to maintenance, and add a little with equipment readiness for the product and maintenance. Productive maintenance. Therefore, the commander must establish to make known the standards by which the inspector will have the command inspection. They shall ensure that these standards can be attained at the time of the resource of the source to import availability on the unit, but the soldier commands to understand what is expected of them, and under each of the inspection must have the purpose of the result of the critiqued with the responsible personnel file with the provided with the assistant needed to ensure the original inspection of the object has been in reach. Per frequency with the inspection, periodic inspections are with the directive at the specific time and issue with the equipment available of the applicable technical manual. The inspection intervals vary with the type of the equipment level, the maintenance of which is to be performed, to be accomplished. The inspections are scheduled and conducted by organizational support maintenance personnel. The Department of the Army does not prescribe the frequency of the maintenance, management, and inspection, but generally the command and maintenance of the inspection will be performed directly in the Army Field Command. For the other immediate headquarters determine their own requirements for the inspection. The command with consider the degree of the wear inspection meet with existing needs for the type of the information provided. The application after the conducting the inspection on the heel of another may with the avoid the bottom, both of the command level and inspected on unit level. The unsatisfactory favor the inspection should follow up with the re-inspection in 2 to 6 weeks. Re-inspection with the duplication after the effect of the inspection can be conducted with the command or subordinate to the headquarters of the which performed the initial inspection, but should be at least one preferable 2 level of command the higher than the unit re-inspect. The re-inspection may be with the commanding other than one which for the conduct of the initial inspection perceived the same with the BU for the clearly stated and understood. Each time the transfer equipment occurred between the 2 organization inspection equipment involved should be clearly common to headquarters. In addition, acting as an inter-air arbitrator, the inspecting team can evaluate the maintenance program of the owning unit. The same type of the inspection of the team can demonstrate that the use and receive of the equipment, but the inspection maintenance the standard that applicable is acceptable to the command. Preventive maintenance indicators. The preventive maintenance indicator you've described the same salient feature for the personnel material supply with the procedure facilities known with the condition with the indicate the quality of the preventive maintenance. The following definition for the term areas of the possible failure or malfunction of the equipment, which can be taken localized application time for the sight, sound, touch, and smell, which indicate the condition and quality of the maintenance. Commander should determine prior to the inspection of the item for the equipment, the maintenance function for the going to the inspection. Should they select the few indicators that each item become thoroughly familiar with the well-developed fail with confidence in as to the personnel with the inspector, you for the commander interest. Maintenance different indicator for the same equipment that should be selected for the succeeding inspection so that the person will not follow the habit of maintaining only what they knew will be expected. The program or the program manager with the guide with the commander with the established for the Department of the Army to provide the consolidated program manager information. You for the commander of the preventive maintenance guide with the for the assessment of the preventive maintenance requirements, the planning of the managing the preventive maintenance program. Constructing the subordinate schedule and conducting inspection evaluation effective with the preventive maintenance program. During the inspection, commanders should always remember the most important indicator of all the items, the performance of the function, which is designated with relieve the chance for the continuing the base for the care of that is receiving. There are 2 primary reasons for the commander of the preventive maintenance indicator that the commander should inspect the most critical single fact with the effect of the maintenance program. If the personnel equipment of the commander with the common intention for the conserve the physical inspection, equipment the function reserve of the equipment, the specialties and beyond the capability activity of the commander, the misleading notion of the commander function could undermine the otherwise enthusiastic mechanic effort. 2. The commander is not specialized. Is not a specialist. For the commander, inspection must be limited to the scope of the practical resource. The reasons for the relatively complexity of the modern equipment, the extent of the technical knowledge required with the specialist, number, length of the assignment of the command position, and practical. Most of the commanders to know technical details or to inspect the preventive maintenance indicator for the logical compromise solution of this problem. 3. Time and limiting factor. Even though the commanding were the technician of the attention for the most devote, the other commanding responsibility limited time available through the inspection of the equipment. The preventive maintenance indicators concentrate the significant readily accessible inspection point that must be most often efficient even the commander's time. Equipment of the preventive maintenance indicator. The equipment preventive maintenance indicator that you're most located for the detail of the specific enable the commander to know the precise what to look for, how the additional specific equipment indicators serve the preventive maintenance check indicator of the most general application, the most type of the many type of the categories. Equipment the commander and inspector should be alert with the evidence of the general indicator of the following fall into the categories general preventive maintenance check and preventive maintenance indicators. Adjustment proper tolerance clearance travel required in many areas of the evidence of the shaft and the binding of the shape, crimping, cracking, rips or splits and seams erratic operations, including proper adjustment. Improper adjustment might be frequent to be and quite evident most about the plane. The bell, the pulleys, lever the gears, and the mount with the lateral movement in which the bearing felt on the bearing adjustment. To the color marking, the conspicuous colors should be the area of the caution and safety details and data place contain the very specific purpose of the information that even the missing and eligible should be replaced with the color codes which are generally applicable to various types of the ammunition, high pressure tubing, electrical circuits. 3. Cleanliness. Cleanliness is related to the maintenance must be considered at the same point effective to help with the proper function of the equipment. Unless cleanliness may conceal the deficiency, shortcoming, the result of the further damage into the item. Further functional surfaces should be general freedom of the foreign material of the crack, dents, and corrosion, just the rusting be readily detected so that it will not interfere with the proper operational function as such of the metal bearing surface filters in the areas requiring lubrication. Fuel lubricant leaks create safety hazards. Accumulation form material grease and oil cannot be tolerated in subject areas of fire. Equipment records. The records must be updated to 8. Legible, accurate, must be indicate the truth. Staff of the outstanding the maintenance work order to referred with the maintenance for the amount of the uncorrected fault along with the sublime action line of the time schedule of the maintenance to determine the equipment. The records of the indicator with the quality of the maintenance penciling type of the entries do not necessarily indicate the quality of the maintenance. 5. Lubrication orders should be on hand with an active view for the no evidence for the grittiness and bonding evident doing the be evident in the bearings area requiring lubricating greasing fittings should be clean and clear of the proper tools and should be on hand. 6. Safety features compliant with the common safety requirements of the sound indicator with a good preventive maintenance check program. Fire extinguishers, emergency access for the safety devices should be easily accessible to communities. Conspicuous marks containing the poison and flammable liquids must be isolated and properly labeled. The electrical ground systems must be approved with the type of the place secure with the provide positive the ground. The warning system buzzer for light should be tested and ensure the proper operation. Observe the presence of the protecting clothing and the guard shields, screening the appropriate to preclude the injury. The smell, the inspector should be alert with the presence of the unusual odor or abnormal orders should may be due with the electrical circuit short out with the overheated motors and other components, lubrication failures, leaks, the strong smell, gasoline, and other fuels should not be present. Mildew, rot due to the prolonged storage of the confined with the areas given the characteristic orders should be investigated. 8. Stowage. Most of the major items you view the ancillary basic items issue list of the equipment with the methodical stowage of such material that indicate the good preventive maintenance. Location of the position, tools, accessory, repair parts of the stowage must be stowed so that they are protected from the damage, deterioration. Stowed material must have the scribblable door catch hinges, the handle of the stowage compartment that must be scribbled with the functional periodic routine airing of the canvas, camouflage, nets, and blankets as needed with the dispel mildew and mold. Maintenance management indicators. No organization for the unit what does not organizational maintenance into the small performance such as some maintenance magnetic management functions. A commander evaluation management maintenance for the organization and co-equal the impact or importance of the determine the staff of the equipment. One or more of the management indicate the maintenance of the one level and other general sort for the which of the equipment problems to be traced. Figure 13 show the incomplete checklist for the maintenance management indicator. The checklist is organized as follows. 1. The paragraph's title show for the subject, the area covered an indicator. 2. The subject is the guidance for the frequency check, the appearance of the parenthesis of the title. 3. The specific check for the cross-reference. 6. Key supervisor factor discuss the learning one learning event. 3. Commanding the emphasize the management supervision, motivation, and skill resources. Figure 13 shows the maintenance management checklist, preventive maintenance checklist, and an oil analysis indicator. The scheduled service indicators, the inspection indicators, the personal indicator, the publication indicators monthly. 4. Rank order number that has been assigned for the maintenance factor, the opposite of each of the indicator of the assist the manager for the identify the train, determine the basic of the answer of the particular indicator with no number, the NO for the numbers being within 1 show of the maintenance factor for the most probable cause of the failure of the checklist may be within any way anyone concerned with the maintenance operation. Daily check for the routinely performed with the first line supervisor during the day-to-day maintenance operation by others required with the management shall inform perfectly weekly, monthly, quarterly, and seasonally. Check in the areas responsible and encourage others to do the same. Manage overall program check should ensure that all aspects of operation with which the manager is responsible and periodically covered. In the preparation before making the indicator check, the manager should determine the objective of the checklist. This will normally determine the adequacy of some of the specific aspects of the maintenance operation. The manager then selects the indicator that will work best, provide the desired information, check that is made with the result of the analyzed sites. They check with their only sample. The manager must use the drawn conclusion, either good or the bad, made from the result. The results are made best reviewed the spot general trends for the further evaluation action. Further example, the relatively large number, the 1 and 2 rank order number, the particular maintenance factor should be prompt manager to take a closer look in the general area. When underlying causes have been determined, the manufacturer's satisfaction, the required corrective action is formulated as needed with the unit chain commanding as if the implementation care must be given to take this over the corrective action, treat for the cause and not the symptoms. The corrective action, only specific individual's faults uncovered by the check of the limited value. The corrective action has been implemented and filed with the checks as essential to verify the desired result have been achieved. Type of the inspection. Commanding inspection. Commanding inspections are made to ensure the proper use of the equipment to maintain supply of the economy. They ensure the compliance with the established procedure, evaluate the operational readiness. Command inspections are made periodically by the unit commanders and their superiors. There are two types of command inspection: formal and informal. Formal command inspection. The inspection covers all the unit activity of the unit. The inspector is notified in advance. The notice should be included with the instruction of inspection procedure for the arrangement of the tools, vehicles, and staff. It should be included with the day of the hour inspection, the name of the rank of the personnel, and each of the member of the inspection. Part of the inspection should be conducted rapidly through the efficiency of the inspection should follow the logical sequence each of the vehicle through the shop, finding the formal inspection all type of equipment, the direct order on the DA form 2404 with the comply with the study and corrective action. Informal command inspections and informal command inspection may be made at any time with no advance notice of the given and no set required. Procedures required. The type of the inspection provided the best picture condition within the unit. The commander receive the unit that is operating within proper practice with the malfunction more that easily detected the annual general inspection. Annual general inspection provided the commander with a continuous assessment of the operation of the administrative effectiveness of the command. The heads of the DA agency, commander of the Army Field Commands, installation of the authorized inspector general, and the staff of the responsible for making the annual inspection of the elements for the command with the installation and activity of the overall annual general inspection. Overall objectives are: 1. Evaluate the management procedure practice pertaining to the personnel that administer the material fund and the use of identify the problem, situation, circumstances within prior mission, the performance and isolated associated costs. 3. Determine the command of the activity best for you suited for the corrective action and evaluate the adequacy of the past corrective actions. 4. Determine the state of the discipline morale through the command with during the maintenance program with the inspection IG, the inspect for the operations for the record procedures, unit maintenance is inspected for the systematic servicing with the preservation, adjusting of the repair, prevention of the use if the inspection, organizational maintenance is activity. The inspector general determines if the unit of the technical skills part of the tool to perform the maintenance unit function. The applicable maintenance work orders have been applied with the equipment and enter for the DA form 24085. Equipment modification work with the work is performing the level of the maintenance work which is responsible for the unit with the current readiness for the profile of the selected items. Equipment listed in DA PAM 738750. The operatives are reporting the accurate equipment of the staff that are recording the with the applicable TAM's record. The operators are familiar with the equipment and the capability limitations. Technical inspections of the equipment are made with the direct support and maintenance personnel with the inspection to determine whether the equipment should be kept and withdrawn with the overall storage of the component parts. Technical inspection all check for the condition of the equipment at the time of the transfer of issue with the technical inspection reveal the organization made for the substandard for the preventive maintenance efficiencies success. This report of the made for the commanding officer until they are concerned with the inspection result recorded in the DA form 2404. The spot check of the inspection spot check inspection often used to ensure the adequacy, effectiveness, organizational maintenance supply within detect the possible failure equipment that before the unserviceable occur with some of the spot checks conducted periodically others required to develop in some of the material operation. Routine. These inspections conducted for specific purposes include the following: inspection work in the progress of the first line, supervisor safety inspection, unit hire with safety personnel, inspection of the equipment designated with the personnel, certain with the effectiveness of the maintenance program, inspection of the TAMs for operational account with the repair parts, the supply of the document, racket, road spot, check with inspect with the vehicle to verify serviceability, operative with the qualification, compliance with the regulations, visit with the can serve with an informal inspection unit. Personnel must likely to freely visit or instead of the problem. Then the inspector, the manager should visit the various unit with this manager for the activity of manner with the routine subject to discuss the observation made during the such visits include degree of satisfaction with the support received by the supporting direct support unit, the program encounter to obtain the support, future operation of the unit that may be placed in heavy demands on the equipment repair, increase the maintenance of the repair's parts, requirement of the technical assistance, adequacy of the unit maintenance program, proper use of the personnel, and adequacy of repair part support. Perpetual inspection, the most important type of all the inspection, however, the kind that every officer of the NCO performs continually the normal part of the daily military activity supporting should be in indoctrinated with the concept that they need to inspect every piece of equipment as they see all officers of the NCO responsible for making the on-spot corrective action whenever the deficiency condition operation of the equipment. They should do with this with another not more than they are members of which the equipment belong with the unit acquired the philosophy consistent with corrective action. Correction as part of the attitude known with the maintenance consciousness. Every member of the command will assume the recognize the responsibility of the maintaining the equipment. Learning event 3, the Army Oil Analysis Program. And we're going to cut the tape right there.